What about fire archetype self-esteem? Excuse me. So they've got characteristics of excited, lively, enthusiastic. They're devoted, enchanting, charismatic, seductive. They're alert, persuasive, they're happy, hearty. So what I'm looking at this time is, rather than look at excesses and deficiencies, I've decided to look at their characteristics overall and look at the difficulties that they can apply with. I guess it's, for me, I know some of you are looking for consistency. I like to show you the different ways that you can approach an archetype. Okay, so the characteristics of a fire archetype are all down the side there. They're typically emotionally balanced. As I said, they're happy, they're hearty, they love achieving their goals, they prefer life's ups, they very much live in the now. Out of all the archetypes, the fire archetype lives more in the present moment than any others. Earth archetype also likes to live in the present moment, not discounting the other three not doing that too, but fire really likes to live right now in this moment. They're good communicators. They can be quite spontaneous. They're going where the fun is, where the action is, but they can have difficulties, and that affects their self-esteem. So things like preoccupied with self-stimulation. Sometimes others might look at that as them being self-gratifying, so they might pull away a little bit, and that can affect their view of themselves because they're seeing others pull away. They also can have problems with conflicting needs, desires, and attractions. They don't tend to spend time recharging. They just go, 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 go till they collapse. And that, of course, can then impact on the way that they feel emotionally, which can then give them issues in terms of their overall self-esteem. They don't like to shut down. So the idea of sleeping when something really fun could be happening, that doesn't sound like much fun at all. So they don't really rest and recharge as much as they should when they really, really need to, because that's going to help to stimulate the endorphins that they get from their sleeping, and also serotonin and various other bits and pieces, which will help in terms of their mood regulation, energy levels, and everything through the day. They don't like to not be around people, especially about people they love, and this can affect their view of themselves. And they can be quite addicted to stimulants. So what might you do in terms of fire archetype regulating treatment? Well, I like the crown and third eye. Again, you'll see that pop up quite a bit throughout my workshops. If you don't like do 20, it seems to be one of the few points that is one that people have a relationship with that's really defined. Like they only ever use it for one thing and they don't use it for multiple things. I consider it being very good for raising energy, but also dropping energy or moving energy in every conceivable direction. But I think some people, and maybe some of you as well, are of the view it really only raises energy for like things like prolapsed organs or sinking energy. It's called Baihui 100 meetings. I run yang, I run fiery, I have more energy up in my head, and the favorite point to needle on me is do 20, because it just settles the energy and helps to drop it. If do 20 only raised energy, it would be the worst point to put on me, because I'd end up with more energy in my head, which would be counterproductive. So that's my personal view on it. If you don't like do 20, substitute it out. Maybe you like do 23 or do 24, or maybe you just want to use yin tang, or go to tai yang and yin tang, or some of the points inside the hairline, aside from do 24, a gallbladder 13, a gallbladder 15, something like that. They've all got value. In this case, I'm using kidney 22 and kidney 25. Kidney 22 is a fire and water kidney spirit gate point, and kidney 25's the U-Butte fire kidney spirit gate point. The front move points of the heart and pericardium I'm using orrery points on the yang channels this time rather than the yin channels. If you're interested in using heart and pericardium orrery points. Just for your own knowledge, they're heart 8 and pericardium 8. It can be a little bit nasty, and your view of what they do might conflict the reason you'd use them. They are still regulating the fire element, but in this case I've gone, fire is more yang, let's use some more yang based stuff. So you've got some yin based stuff higher up by using heart and pericardium. Now we've got some yang based stuff using small intestine and sanjiao. And then the lower Hersi points of sanjiao and small intestine as well, which would be bladder 39 and stomach 39. So lower Hersi points regulate the organ they're associated with. So sensible scattering of points, sensible connections of points as well. Earth archetypes, their characteristics are they're the negotiator or peacemaker. They're typically very stable, poised, and composed because they're very good at helping to solve the world's problems one person at a time. And so to do that, they have to be very composed and moderated through that. Makes them quite sociable people. They're very nurturing, sympathetic, considerate, attentive, have this very focused intent. An Earth archetype person tends to never forget your name, your friends' names, your family members, your animals' names, your job, your loves, your hates. So you might not see them for 5 years, and then you're walking down the street and they're coming up and they go, "Hey, David, how are you? And how's your wife, Amanda, and your kids? And how's acupuncture going?" And I'm a fire archetype. I'm probably going, "I recognize you, but I don't know your name and I don't know." So it's this kind of thing. But Earth are really good at that because it's all about the person that they're in their space with at that time. They are very constructive thinkers, and they're very good at reflecting on past events and learning from them. They can have difficulties with things like interfering and meddling when they're not wanted or not needed. And this, of course, affects potentially their self-esteem because of the blowback from that, and also a multitude of different things through that external skin, internal skin. They can struggle with being everything to everyone. And even though they want to be, they can't. And that's very affecting, it really affects their self-esteem as well. They want to be there, but they can't, so they feel bad about that. Or they continually do, and then they don't rest and recharge, and it becomes a whole issue again as well. So in terms of regulating treatment for them, the earth element kidney spirit gate point is kidney 23, front move points of spleen and stomach, back shoe points of spleen and stomach, the orrery points of spleen and stomach. You're getting a theme here. Hopefully you're seeing, oh, David likes front move, back shoe, yuan source, orreries. They're regulating points. I consider them regulating for yin and yang organs, even though some people argue that doesn't always apply depending on whether it's yin or yang. I consider them to be very valuable to help to balance out those organs and therefore that archetype. And then lung 9 is a good one because it's an earth point and it's the yin partner of the spleen. And it's a very good nourishing point in its own right anyway.